Hello, welcome to this Pluto in Aquarius video slash presentation that I have created for all of you so we can take a look at some of this energy we will all be moving through during this next 20-year transit. The first portion of this video slash presentation, I will go over the energy we will be moving through, and I also go into a little bit of the mythology around Pluto just to bring depth to the Plutonian energy. The second portion of this video, I will go over all 12 rising signs. So make sure you stick around. I have created this presentation for all of you, hopefully, to help bring awareness and help guide you through this significant energy. And before we get into all 12 signs, I'm going to briefly touch on Pluto aspecting your sun, your moon, or any of your personal planets or points because Pluto moves so slow and has such an irregular orbit that Pluto only moves through a very few signs and houses in our lifetime. So, this is an energy that is a once in a lifetime experience. And I have labeled and titled this video and presentation Technology, Transformation, and Transcendence, because that essentially is what Pluto and Aquarius is going to bring. So, let's get right into it. My name is Adeana Sterling. I'm an intuitive astrologer. And if you would like to book a consultation with me, you can email me directly at adeana.intuitiveastrologer@gmail.com. I will post all of this in the description below. Also, make sure you follow me on my other social media platforms because I do post daily content around the energy with the astrology energy and other spiritual content as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you align with my content and my energy. Okay, so let's start with the mythology of Pluto. This is very interesting, and this really gives you an idea and understanding of some of the energy around Pluto and what Pluto represents. So, Pluto was the son of the Titan god Saturn or Kronos. He was one of three brothers and sisters, and Pluto was the mysterious lord of the dead and the underworld. Pluto was known for his amazing power and strength. Pluto is also known for the story around Persephone. Now, how this story goes is Pluto was shot by an arrow from Cupid, and it was to have him fall in love with the next one that he seen, which happened to be Persephone. When he seen Persephone, he became very obsessive. And abducted her and took her to the underworld. And her mother, Ceres, which was the goddess of the earth, ended up becoming very depressed, very sad. And so things on earth started to die. And the messenger god Mercury got wind of where Persephone was and let the Lord of the gods, Jupiter, know, which was Pluto's brother, where of Persephone's whereabouts. So Jupiter ordered Pluto to return Persephone to her mother because everything was dying. Nature was dying on earth because Ceres was so sad and upset, and she was the goddess of nature and earth. So, under one condition, though, that Persephone had not ate anything in the underworld while she was there, or then she would essentially belong to Pluto and the underworld. So it just so happened that Persephone ate a few pomegranate seeds. Therefore, Pluto said that she belonged to him and the underworld. And there was this order that Pluto said, well, I will return her, but only for 6 months out of the year. And then I will take her for the remainder of the 6 months back to the underworld. And this is where we get our seasons spring and summer and winter. So Persephone would go back to the underworld in fall when everything would die on earth, when it would become cold, the leaves fall off the trees, the flowers die. In the spring, when Persephone would return to her mother, that is when life came back to earth. So this is very interesting when we look at the death and rebirth process of Pluto, because that is what Pluto represents is death and rebirth, transformation. So this is very interesting how the mythology relates to this energy. And so the other thing about this story is that it is said that Pluto um, was very abusive to Persephone, obsessive, power and control. So, this is another energy that is related to Pluto. Pluto does represent power and control. Pluto can represent abuse. If somebody has a very strong Pluto energy within their chart, they may have experienced abuse as a child, either be the abuser or be the recipient of abuse. So it's really interesting how this Pluto energy with Persephone is still around and with us today. And so, what is some of the energy around Pluto that in our modern era? So, Pluto is a dwarf planet, and Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. And there is quite a lot of similar significations with Pluto and Scorpio, because Scorpio also represents death and rebirth and transformation. Scorpio is also very psychological, and so is Pluto. Pluto is a very psychological planet. Pluto was discovered in 1930. So Pluto entered the collective consciousness, our consciousness, in 1930. Pluto was around, of course, for millennia, but we just were not aware of Pluto. So when Pluto was discovered and entered our consciousness, this is when we discovered atomic energy, nuclear power, weapons of mass destruction, which is all a very Pluto thing. Pluto also defines the generations. So Pluto in Leo generation, that those are the baby boomers. And the Pluto in Leo generation were the first generation to really get the full experience of Pluto, since the Pluto and Leo generation started in 1937. So when Pluto was discovered, Pluto would have been in Cancer. So the Pluto and Leo generation were the first generation to experience the full Plutonian energy. And then we have uh, the Pluto in Virgo generation, which are the Gen X. We have Pluto in Libra, which is the Gen X or Gen Y. When you look it up, it says Gen X second group or Gen Y. So I put both. And then Pluto in Scorpio are the millennials. Pluto in Sagittarius are the Gen Z. Pluto in Capricorn are Generation Alpha. So, this new generation that is arising with Pluto in Aquarius will be the generation that will not really know life before technology and or AI, because and this is such an Aquarian thing. Aquarius rules AI and technology, so it's definitely interesting. Pluto takes roughly 248 years to travel through the zodiac and takes 12 to 30 years to transit each sign. Pluto has a very irregular orbit. And that is why Pluto is not like Saturn, which takes roughly 29 years to transit the zodiac. One will always experience their Saturn return around the age of 30, 29 or 30. And so, Pluto is not like that. Pluto has a very irregular orbit. So Pluto represents transformation, death and rebirth, renewal, regeneration. Pluto is very deep and intense. Pluto represents power and control, obsessions, desires and passions. And it's not good desires and passions. It's almost like psychological desires and passions. In a sense, if you can understand where I'm kind of going with that. Pluto is also very psychic and represents psychic power, manifestation power. Pluto represents the occult. Pluto represents magic and magnetic energy. Pluto is very magnetic. So, those who have very strong Pluto energy within their chart, this is an area where you can really tap into your psychic power and manifestation power and bring things. It's very interesting when you look at the sign and the house and all of the aspects. And I'm actually currently creating a course on how to tap into your intuition. And I'm using Pluto to do so, because Pluto has such this magnetic energy to just draw things to you. And Pluto is also very psychological. Pluto rules trauma, fears, paranoia, manipulation, and narcissism. So narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy. This is all a very Plutonian energy, all of these things. And then Pluto also represents secrets, the things that are hidden. Pluto brings what is hidden and beneath the surface to light. So let's take a minute to reflect back to the Pluto and Capricorn transit. Capricorn rules authority, government, corporations, empires. Like Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Capricorn really rules those structures and authorities, authority figures, government. And if we look at where we are today, when Pluto is leaving Capricorn to where we were with Pluto entering Capricorn, we know a lot more about our systems, our government, our corporations. Um, so it's very interesting. Pluto really does bring what is hidden and beneath the surface to light and exposes everything. So, that's a perfect example of how Pluto really brings things to light. If we just look at Pluto transiting Capricorn, how so much has been revealed to us regarding our governments and our systems and our corporations and who's really controlling everything behind the scenes to what we knew 15 years ago when Pluto entered Capricorn. So Pluto in Aquarius is going to be very similar. Now, what is Aquarius? Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So, a fixed sign is really a sign that is represented with seasons. So, a fixed sign is where we are stuck right in the middle of a season. There's not much changing. We are neither entering a season or leaving a season. We're kind of just in this stuck energy, and fixed energy can not is not really good with change. Sometimes is hard. It's not very mutable. It's not very adaptable. Like it's really stuck in its energy. And air is our mind, our communication. All air signs represent information, communication, our mind and mindset, and all of that stuff. And Aquarius is the is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. So Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius and Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. And Aquarius really does have representations of both because they're, the Uranian energy with Aquarius is like the technology, the energy, um, AI, like it's such a Uranus thing and an Aquarius thing. And so, what else does Aquarius represent? Aquarius is humanity, societies, social groups, and social media. Aquarius represents the people. This is the people. So, we are moving out of a sign like Capricorn, that it represents the government, authority figures, and we are going into a sign that now represents the people, the collective. So the power is essentially coming back to the people. However, it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies and sunshine. And, there's always conflict and fight to get to the other side, to get to the light. But the power is now coming back to the people. And March 23rd, when Pluto entered Aquarius, is when we seen the rise of France. All of that, all the people, there was the protest now going on in France. That started March 23rd, I believe, when as soon as Pluto went into Aquarius. And since Pluto has entered Aquarius, we have seen so much where the government is pushing bills through because it's like they know the energy is with the people now. There's so many people standing up that they are rushing to suppress us and suppress information because the amount of people standing up and taking their power back is extraordinary. And it is such an amazing thing to see. I don't know if you're listening to this and you agree, but these are my personal beliefs. We've gone through so much and it's so important for the people to take their power back and so important for us to know how much power we truly have, even on an individual level. So, Aquarius also represents internet, online, Wi Fi, AI. This is all very much Aquarius energy. We are going to see a lot of new technological advancements and AI advancements for sure. Aquarius also rules science, technology, energy, and the collective consciousness. Pluto in Aquarius from 2023 to 2024. So Pluto will be in Aquarius for 20 years. Pluto will officially move out of Aquarius, I believe, January of 2044. So there's not much energy in 2044. So I put 2043 because Pluto's really only going to stay in Aquarius for a few weeks once we enter 2044. However, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius from now, March 23rd, till June 11th of 2023. Then Pluto will move back into Capricorn. So it is very important at this time to watch and be aware of what is coming up in our world. Because Pluto is such a generational planet, this is going to affect us more on a collective level. It will affect us individually, of course, in our own personal lives, but this is really where we will see the energy play out in the world on a broader level. And so Pluto will re-enter Aquarius January 20th, 2024, and I believe stays there after, I don't know, I can't remember if Pluto moves back into Capricorn. I'm not too sure. But by 2024, Pluto is in Capricorn to stay for 20 years. So we really want to pay attention to what comes up at this time until June of 2023 to give us an idea of what we have to, what we're going to be dealing with over the next 20 years. So, what are some things we are going to see with Pluto and Aquarius? Major change and innovations around AI technology, virtual reality, and medical technology. I believe that there has been a suppression of amazing technological advancements and science discoveries that has been hidden from us, that we are going to find out about. Cures for diseases that they say are incurable. I think this is one thing we will definitely see over the next 20 years is things coming to light as well as technological advancements in the medical field. Virtual reality is going to be a huge thing because if you ever watched that show Black Mirror, that show and series is truly a Pluto and Aquarius series because it shows like these huge technological advancements, but are they really good or are they bad? And those are decisions we are going to have to make on an individual level over the next 20 years. How much of our life do we want to connect to AI technology? And is it healthy for us? And is by doing that, are we um, getting rid of our own amazing capabilities as human beings? We are a magnificent species, and we don't even know and understand completely what we are capable of. And I'm going to talk a lot about this on my channel and other videos, the true potential of the human body and all of the stuff that, if we were just aware of a portion of it, we are such powerful beings. And I feel like they're trying to connect us to AI before we really realize our capability and our true power. And it's coming. We are about to realize all of this, and they want us connected before we do. And so we are going to see the rise of the people and change of power, power with the people. But like I said, this is not going to just come without, unfortunately, fight a conflict. But what I really want to put out there is to never get stuck in fear or any lower vibrational emotion. So it's really good to pass this information on and bring guidance to it, and spread the information because we all need to know what's going on, but we don't want to get stuck in the emotion, we don't want to get stuck in anxiety, we don't want to get stuck in depression, we don't want to get stuck in fear or anger. So we want to bring awareness of it, but we have to have the emotional intelligence to disconnect from what is going on so that we don't feed into and manifest something that we don't want. Because whether we agree with it or not, if we are focusing on it and we are feeding that emotion, it is going to manifest. So just be mindful of that. I always usually talk about that in my videos because I think it's so important. um And some discoveries we are going to have over Pluto and Aquarius is universal energy, beings and aliens, other dimensions, frequencies, and vibrations. I think we will realize that. I mean, I know that we are not the only beings in this universe. I think it's crazy at this point to think, the universe is infinite. To think we are the only living being in this universe, I think is pretty egotistical in a sense. There's thousands upon thousands of other beings, hundreds of thousands of beings. And I don't believe that aliens are evil like they have portrayed in Hollywood. I think that there may be, yes, lower vibrational aliens that may not have the higher good or want the higher good for humanity. However, I believe there are a lot of universal beings that are watching us and guiding us and taking care of us and making sure we don't blow ourselves up. And so universal energy, I think we will discover that there's huge advancements in this area to where there's going to be ways to do this that is good for the planet, good for humanity, and it's been suppressed. There's energy that has been, or not energy, information that has been suppressed about all of this stuff. And I believe this is all going to come to light over the next 20 years for sure. Some other things I think we will see is massive change around how we connect to each other. And I kind of touched on this a little bit, virtual reality. Um, I think I think that again, I'll bring up the series Black Mirror. There were a couple episodes in that series where, um, you know, people were just connecting through virtual reality, and it was like you had an avatar, and it was like connecting to someone else. So we're losing that human connection. How much of that do we want to give away? Us as human beings need and crave human connection. If we just have it all virtually and never leave our home, what is that really doing to our soul and our spirit and us as a species? So I think we will see a rise in this, but I also believe we are going to see a rise in our psychic abilities. Pluto's very psychic and brings psychic power. I think that there will be, in a sense, two worlds. There will be the virtual world, and then there's going to be this world of people really connecting to their personal power and telepathy and all of their psychic abilities, to where that's all going to be enhanced for those who choose that path. I think we will see a lot of that through Pluto and Aquarius. And beliefs around spirituality and religion, I think, will really come up over this transit as well. And it's all tied into realizing what we truly are as humans. Once we realize what we are capable of, our true power, it questions things we've been told, it questions things we once knew. And this has to do with all of the labels and belief systems and the programs. There's going to be a realization during this transit of what humans are. And I can't even stress that enough because it's just the biggest intuitive feeling I get with this transit is that, I mean, we're entering almost a whole new world. And just like how Pluto and Capricorn was very different coming out as it was going in, it's going to be the same with Pluto and Aquarius. And if the people come together and rise up and we stay together, and this is why they're starting to suppress the information, because certain places online that allow us to really truly know what's going on in the world and see all the people rising us, it's empowering, and it gives us that, like, drive to stand up for our rights too. I mean, if we didn't see everything going on, we would assume. And I'm in Canada, and I just want to bring up the trucker convoy, for example. The trucker convoy brought so much light to people and inspiration and empowerment to people, because it allowed those of us to know we are not alone. We are not alone in this. We thought we were. How long did we sit and think we can't be the only ones feeling this way? We know this isn't right. We know what is going on is not right. And for a long time, I think individuals, including myself, thought, you know, how are people just okay with this? The trucker convoy, and then around that time, seeing everyone in the world rise up brought power back to us and allowed us to realize we weren't alone. There's so many of us out there, and that's what they don't want us to know. Because once we know that we are, there's so many of us, we come together, and there's so many more of us than there is of them. So we are going to see a lot more of this over this next 20 years for sure. Now, let's talk about the decans. I always talk about the decans. I don't see a lot of astrologers really talk about this. And I always want you to know that I'm using tropical astrology whole sign houses. So in this kind of astrological format within a house and a sign, there's 29 degrees and they are split into three different segments. So 0 to 9 degrees is the first decan, which will always be double of whatever that sign is. So if it's Aries, it'll be Aries, Aries. If it's Aquarius, it'll be Aquarius, Aquarius. And what it is it's each segment is represented by each sign that is the same element of that sign. So, for example, because Aquarius is an air sign, the first decan 0 to 9 degrees is going to be Aquarius, Aquarius. And then you will go in astrological order. So, the next air sign after Aquarius is Gemini. So, the second decan from 10 to 19 degrees will be Aquarius, Gemini. So it's still Aquarius, but it will have a little touch of Gemini energy in with it. And then the one after that will be Aquarius, Libra. And this is in all houses and all signs. And you go by the element of whatever sign you're in. And so let's touch on these decans. The first decan is going to be Aquarius, Aquarius. So this is where we will really see the rise of the people. This is the decan, and I didn't put I wish I would have put the years in here because I can't remember. Um, but comment below if you want me to put what years of the decans, and I will list it below. I should have put it on here and I completely forgot about that. I apologize. But let me know in the comments below if you want me to list the years for the decans, and I will do that. So the Aquarius Aquarius decan is where we will really see new technology, new innovations around AI, a rising of the people and cultures, ideologies, transformation around technological advancements, so medical and social, and how people relate to one another in social groups because it's very Aquarian energy. So we have that double Aquarian energy there. So we're really talking about the people, societies, humanity, technology, all of that stuff, how we connect to one another, the collective. So, Aquarius Gemini, this is because it has that little Gemini aspect to it. We're talking about communication, we're talking about information. Um, Gemini is kind of a little bit more mutable. So, this can be where people are starting to become a little less fixated, maybe in their ideologies and beliefs that maybe they once were because of everything that is going to come out within the first decan. This will be the decan where people are starting to come around and realize, okay, maybe because of all of the advancements and things coming out, they're becoming less stuck in what they once believed in. And so this can bring, I put telepathy, psychic communication, psychic abilities around the mind. So realizing that we are, realizing more of what we truly are and more of our power and learning how to use them, our personal powers. Personal experiences with others become extremely either virtual or psychic. So that's when I was talking about how to connect with each other, whether it's going to be just virtually, or we can even connect with each other more spiritually and psychically. And then we're going to see innovations around communicating in the mind, which is like the kind of the same thing, but I think we will see more discoveries come out with it, more and more advancements in that field. And then Aquarius and Libra, because Libra is all about relationships, balance, and bringing justice to everything. I believe this will be the decan where we really see finally justice, and it is the last decan. So like I said, it's going to take time. It's not going to be necessarily easy for the first little bit. We have to fight for what we believe in. And again, I'm not promoting violence or anything like that. I mean, when I say fight, I don't actually mean fight. I mean just stand up for what we believe in. Know what is true, stand in our power, and take back our power and our personal power. That's really what I mean when I'm saying that. And in Aquarius with Libra, I believe this is when we will start seeing a balancing of those energies and humanity realizing the oneness and everyone coming together, and those who are not being brought to justice in a sense, because that is what Libra represents, is justice and equality for everyone. So that is my thing on the decans. And now let's get into some personal influences with Pluto and Aquarius. So you want to see if you have any planets or points in the fixed signs, because Pluto will either be conjunct one of your personal planets or points, opposing one of your personal planets or points, or squaring if you have anything in the fixed signs. So you definitely want to know, because squares and oppositions and conjunctions, well, squares can bring challenge, squares require oppositions, require balance, and conjunctions can bring power. Truly. So you really want to know if you do have any planets or points in the fixed signs, and if you have any planets or points in the air signs. If you have planets or points in the air signs, Pluto will be forming a trine to one of your personal planets. So this can bring in some energy around things coming in for you, opportunities coming in for you that is, maybe not, is definitely going to be less challenging than a square. And so I put here again just some things. I listed again what Pluto can bring for you. So, psychological transformation. So, these are general things that Pluto brings to everyone regarding the house or the sign. The house and the sign is going to show how the energy is expressed, and the house is going to show the area of life that these changes will occur in. And so we're looking at psychological transformation in these areas, a reprogramming of the subconscious minds, power and control issues around topics and themes or people, deep and intense regeneration and renewal in this area of life. So, like the death and rebirth process, new empowering energy and innovations, ideas and inventions in these areas of life, and bringing in really faded karmic energy. Pluto is very karmic, represents and can represent past lives, and also bring in very strong and powerful personal power and psychic abilities. So when I go through all 12 signs, keep this in mind for the general energy that Pluto is going to bring you. And again, if you enjoy this presentation and you align with my energy, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And I truly love connecting with you all. So let's get into all 12 signs now, starting with Aries. Okay, so Aries rising, Pluto and Aquarius is going to be in your 11th house. So, this is social groups, social recognition, humanitarian pursuits, friends and friendships, online connections, and online businesses. The 11th house also represents your hopes and your dreams. So, this transit can bring massive change and transformation around your friends and friendships, a psychological change when it comes to how you connect with your friends and your friendships, bringing in maybe different belief systems around that, having laser focus energy on what you are putting online or creating online. You can have, this is a time where you could really transform and create some type of online business, build or create online connections. Anything online or social media is going to be transformed and have some type of laser focus energy around this area of life. So this is during this transit. This is truly a good time to develop online connections or change how you connect to people online. There's going to be some type of transformation, or this can even bring discoveries or transformation in maybe what you thought of online connections in a sense, like a psychological change. Okay, and Taurus rising, this Pluto and Aquarius is happening in your 10th house. The 10th house is all about career, public reputation, leadership, and authority figures, the legacy that you are leaving behind. So you are looking at transformation in your career, what you are putting out into the world. There's going to be laser focused energy around your career and public reputation, around the legacy that you want to leave behind and what you want to be known for. This is a time where you may develop a type of leadership role or become more of an authority figure. Or this can also be a time where you're psychologically completely transformed in a sense when it comes to how you felt about authority figures, how you connect to authority figures. So, this is a really interesting energy, and Pluto in Aquarius is really going to bring your attention to authority figures in your career and maybe have you wanting to become more of that, whether it's in your personal life or in your work and career, what you want to be known for. Gemini rising, Pluto in Aquarius is going to be transiting your ninth house. The ninth house is all about long distance travel, foreign cultures, higher education, teaching, publishing, religion, philosophy, and belief systems. So, this can be a complete transformation of your belief systems around philosophy, religion, or even a type of reprogramming of your mind around belief system when things you once thought were, you realize maybe they were not exactly as you thought they were in a sense. This can bring laser focus energy to these areas of life around travel and higher education. This could be a time where you are focusing more on traveling or have some type of transformation around traveling and higher education. You may decide to get into teaching and completely change and restructure your life around that. So, this is really a time where there's going to be laser focus energy and some type of psychological transformation when it comes to higher education, your thoughts on traveling, your belief systems, teaching, philosophy, and learning. This could be a time where you truly want to focus and just learn as much as you can about everything. Cancer rising, you have Pluto and Aquarius transiting through your eighth house. The eighth house is all about your partner's finances, money coming in from outside resources. The eighth house also represents birth, the death and rebirth process, transformation, trauma, psychological issues, power and control, taxes, and inheritance. So Pluto transiting through your eighth house can bring deep psychological healing and transformation on past traumas, on any type of psychological issues that you have been moving through in this lifetime. This is a transit that can truly bring deep healing, deep psychological healing, and a completely regeneration or regenerative energy to any psychological issues that you have been moving through in this time. This is a time where you can truly experience a death and rebirth experience. So, again, this is a huge energy for healing from trauma and healing from any type of power and control issues. This is also a time where you may see a complete transformation in investments or your partner's finances. Leo rising, you have Pluto and Aquarius transiting through your seventh house. The seventh house is all about relationships, one on one connections, partnerships, your marriage partner, your business connections, contracts, and agreements. So while Pluto is transiting through your seventh house over the next 20 years, you maybe have a completely psychological transformation on how you connect to others, what you want from others. This can even change your belief systems around relationships. This can have you focusing more on marriage, partnerships, business partnerships, and creating an energetic balance between yourself and others. This is a time where there's going to be laser focus energy and a complete like psychological transformation on how you want to connect to others, what you expect from others, and that whole personal connection that when it comes to connecting to others and what you expect from your partners and those that are close in your life. And this is even business partnerships as well. Virgo rising. Pluto in Aquarius is transiting through your sixth house. The sixth house represents work, health, daily routine, employees, pets, daily activities, and nutrition. This is a time where there's going to be laser focus energy on your health, on your routine. This is actually a time where you can implement some type of really transformational daily routine. Like if you have been wanting to completely transform your health and get into like deep intense where you are getting to the bottom and the root cause of some health issues, this is a time where you can do that. You're going to have the power and the energy of Pluto to really get to whatever it is you are moving through when it comes to your health. This is a really intense energy and transformational energy when it comes to transforming your daily routine, your work routine, and what you are doing day to day. This is an amazing energy. I love this for Virgo. Even though it's the house of health, I think that it's going to bring up um, possible experiences, not necessarily bad, but that's really going to have you completely regenerating your body, really getting into and focusing on what is healthy for your cells, like getting down to the cellular core of the body and regenerating it so you can basically become this, you know, get into your health and become this, healthy, amazing kind of individual and completely different. Pluto represents laser focus energy. So when it's dealing with your health, you're talking about learning about cellular level things that can regenerate your body. So I really love this, Virgo. Libra rising. Libra, you have Pluto and Aquarius transiting through your fifth house. The fifth house represents play, romance, creativity, pleasure, hobbies, activities, children, what you do and what you do that you truly love and enjoy. And so this transit can have you having children. I will say I'm just coming out of this transit and during this entire process I had 3 children. My I had my first son when Pluto entered Capricorn in my fifth house, and I have had 3 children while Pluto transit my fifth house. So I know Pluto can definitely bring kids to the fifth house. I will say through personal experiences. And this can also bring a complete transformation in hobbies, activities, and passions that you love, where maybe things that you're into now, by the time Pluto leaves Aquarius, you're going to be into completely different things. Pluto's going to transform those things that you love and desire and enjoy and bring new activities, new hobbies and passions to your life. And like I said, Pluto's also going to bring in children or beliefs around children that are maybe different than what you thought now. And this transit can also bring in creations that are completely transformational, and life changing. So this can have you wanting to create something and put it out into the world because the fifth house also represents creativity. So you can really be creative at this time and creating something that you want to put out into the world that can transform lives. So I love this energy, Libra. Scorpio, Pluto in Aquarius is going to be transiting through your fourth house. The fourth house is all about home, family, parents, roots, foundations, and retirement. The fourth house can also represent property and real estate, your roots. So this can be a time where you can have major transformation when it comes to your home and family, whether you're buying and selling your home, or maybe you get into real estate, property. You can completely renovate and transform your home at this time. But this can also be a time where there's a lot of focus on your parents and family or childhood. This could be a time where maybe you were doing some past traumas in childhood because Pluto is so psychological and can represent psychological healing. So this can bring healing in some way to the family structure in your life or even bring in children. I know the fifth house represents children, but I have seen Pluto bring children to the fourth house as well. So this can be a time where the family unit in your life completely transforms and completely changes. This can also be a time where you retire or pushed into retirement or transformed or have some type of psychological transformation when it comes to how you want to retire. Sagittarius rising. Pluto in Aquarius is going to be transiting through your third house. The third house is all about community, neighbors, neighborhood, local travel, and vehicles. The third house also represents siblings, cousins, extended family. And the third house also represents early education, communication, and mindset. This can bring in huge focus when it comes to writing, publishing, or teaching. You may decide that this is something you want to do and put out into the world. This can also bring transformation when it comes to your mindset or like a reprogramming of your mind and really getting to the bottom of something. And when it comes to like psychological transformation in your mind, like a reprogramming or maybe past beliefs kind of coming up and transformed in some way. This is also a time where you can focus and have some type of transformation around your siblings, cousins, or extended family. So this Pluto and Aquarius energy can really bring in psychological transformation and laser focus energy when it comes to how you connect to your community, when it comes to how you connect to your extended family, and bring more attention to those areas of life. Capricorn rising. Pluto in Aquarius is going to be transiting your second house. The second house represents money, finances, material possessions, savings, personal investments, and your attitude towards money and your personal values. So, this can be a complete transformation in how you feel about money, your beliefs around money, and how you want to make money. This can also, yeah, this can completely transform. Um, Money pursuit. So the way you're making money, how you feel about money, and bring in maybe like a psychological transformation around money and material possessions in general. So like let's say you were completely focused on like having a lot of money or maybe felt like you weren't worth anything if you didn't have money or certain personal material possessions. Pluto can come in and completely transform this. So by the time Pluto leaves Aquarius, having you realize that what is important in life is not external from you, that it is all inside. And this is a really nice energy from that, where we are not looking outside of us for personal kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like your value doesn't lie on anything external from yourself. It is all within you. This energy can bring that up for you and transform that. Aquarius rising, you have Pluto and Aquarius entering your first house. This is all about you, Aquarius. This house represents the self, your character, your personality, your appearance, your physical body, and how you navigate your reality. Pluto is coming into your first house and is bringing power. This is an energy where because remember, your ascendant lies within the first house, which is you. This is a transit that can truly bring in magnificent power, personal power, magnetic energy to completely have the death and rebirth process when it comes to you, your physical body. Like this is an amazing energy for honestly, just if you have wanted to this is bringing in all types of personal power because I can't even begin. It's like I have so much I want to say and it's just not coming out. But the first house represents you. If you have wanted to do something with your physical body, have some type of personal power, and transform yourself in some type of way, Pluto can bring that in and do this for you. So this is definitely amazing. This can begin a complete self-discovery journey where this is the beginning of really diving deep into who you are, what you are, and it can be very amazing. And Pisces rising. You have Pluto and Aquarius entering your 12th house. The 12th house is all about spirituality, subconscious, dreams, places that are hidden like hospitals, temples, brothels, and prisons. The 12th house also represents endings, karma, past lives. So, Pluto and Aquarius, this can bring in some type of really deep spiritual transformation. This could even have you diving deep into some type of like past life regression, diving deep into your past lives. Past lives, and this can also bring in like ending lifetimes of karmic energy and karmic cycles, which This is what really stuck out prominently for me when I was diving deep into this energy is for Pisces risings individuals, if you've been dealing with past life karma that has been with you and stuck with you through generations and not even generations, but lifetimes, like years and years and hundreds of years, like ancestral karmic energy, this is a time where that energy is going to be completely transformed. Getting to the root, like there are things that are going to come up and you're going to face and you're going to completely transform this energy. I really love this for doing some type of past life regression during this transit. And a lot of karmic energy is going to come up. And this is a time where you're going to be dealing with a lot of spiritual connections. So this is really nice, Pisces.